Hey everybody, sorry I'm a little bit late. I had a little bit of a crisis. I'll tell you about that in a minute, but I'm just trying to set everything up and get everything up that I need to and all that good stuff. I thought I had my stickers for tonight, and I did have them. When I got them, I put them all in this nice little pouch arranged by month, and I couldn't find them. Then I thought they were in my car, so like with 5 minutes left, I ran down to my car, and I grabbed a bunch of stuff that I thought it was in, and then I came back up here, it also was not in that. So then I've just been scrambling, so I am sweaty and out of breath and a little bit stressed out because, yeah, I had plans and they did not really work. So, yeah. Hello. Hi. I'm a little bit frazzled right now, so give me a minute to kind of get it back together and we can get going. My goodness. But tonight, my game plan is to do some stenciling, of course. I want to get my July monthly setup done. I highly doubt I'll have more time to do anything after that, but if I do, I would love to also get my this week's layout done. I really don't think I'll have time to, but a girl can dream, I think. So we'll see. Give me 1 second. I want to flip through my bullet journal. I'm trying to remember what year Tortured Poets came out the next year. I want to see how I did my TTPD layout last year, and kind of use that as a little bit of an inspiration for this month. This month, obviously, is Tortured Poets Department. Not obviously, but just because I just said TTPD. So this month is going to be Tortured Poets Department. Was this not this year? Okay, so it'd be 2004. I feel like I'm having like a, I don't remember what year was what moment. Yeah, it's gotta be this one. Yeah, here we go. Okay, cool. So I can kind of see what I used and jog my memory a little bit here. So I'm very behind in my journal. June was a very chaotic month. I don't necessarily know that July is gonna be any better, but we're gonna try. We did get our 4th of July layout, which was good, but then I didn't do them this week, so I'm kind of in a little bit of a scramble, but we'll start with our monthly because that's the most important one right now. And like I said, this month is going to be Tortured Poets Department, mostly because So Long London had a good run. I have used that the last couple years for July, and I just think it's a fun little thing, so I'm just carrying along the tradition. I will show you these. I did work on these the other day. These are like some mixed media pieces. They're watercolor paint plus ink plus Posca paints. Kind of like a little bit of a mixed media moment. If you're going to CPC, you know there's a CPC sale at the end of the month. And these are going to be, I haven't decided at what level, but if you buy a certain amount during that sale, you'll get these. I'm also participating in the Planner Boss Collective Christmas in July sale at the end of the month. I'll be announcing that in a little bit. Like I said, it's been chaotic, so I'm a little frazzled, to be honest. A lot going on at the moment, So I'm just trying to keep caught up, you know what I mean? Or like tread water. I'm really trying to get ahead on things, and it's just not really successfully working, but we'll get there. But yeah, so that's kind of a sneak peek of the little things. And then I've been working on, I was looking for my scissors, was the whole reason to pull this entire package out, and then I got distracted. I also have some new stuff that I'm hoping to release this weekend. I thought I had it over here. This is kind of how today has been. So, oh, it's in here. Okay. So, hopefully this weekend, but potentially next week, I'm going to do a camping release. I do have a couple more that aren't quite ready yet, but there's like a new camping doodles, a camp flags, pennant kind of banners thing, a couple of different, this is a campfire pattern, and just kind of like a campsite pattern. A lot of people go fishing when they camp, so with that like a little fish pattern. A lot of like marine life patterns, but no fish patterns. So I thought that like fit with the camping theme. A fir tree pattern, some bears. I'm in like the wildlife mood. Some different tents. This cute little camping pattern. I do have like a leopard print camping pattern. I'm not a leopard print girl, but it was really cute as it came together, so I'm gonna go with it. And then I think there's a bear claw like print pattern. And that's all the camp. And then there's 2 or 3 soccer stencils that I'm going to do. And then also, I kind of did this, like, I feel like if you're if you're at camp or, like, camping, you're always, like, if you're a picture girl like me, you're always taking pictures. So I did a new picture frame / Polaroid-ish moment here. You'll get all the inside pieces, but I'm just going to pull out some of them. Other than these little tiny ones, you won't get those little tiny ones, but kind of like film strip kind of thing. I feel like analog photography is kind of having another moment, especially as we like junk journal and scrapbook and all that kind of stuff. So I thought that was a cool one. Like as I was doing all the camp stuff, like that was something I kept thinking, like I feel like a campy snapshot would be a cool thing. So those are some of them. I also have new stuff designed for Chicago and new stuff designed for Christmas in July, which will be released at the end of the month. Hoping to do one other release in there of like some patterny stuff, but I'm not 100% sure I'll get to that. We're just going to play it by ear and see how it goes. So I've got a lot of stuff going on. Life seems to be like triple speed right now, so I'm trying to kind of keep up, but I'm not doing the best job. Forgive me. I try. The lives have been really oh, I don't even have my iPad up. Give me one second. The lives have been a little chaotic, clearly. I was like, I should tag everybody, and I was like, I don't have my live up. What in the world am I doing? All right, give me 1 second to pull this up. I'm chaotic right now. And of course it's offline. Whew. Sometimes. Alright, why is this not loading? Sorry about this. Just give me another minute here. Oh my goodness. Why can't I find my life? There we go. All right, let me just tag everyone here. Okay, cool. There we go. All right, now we've got it a little bit better. So as per usual, we're gonna kind of work stack in front. Let's do, I'm going to really quickly do my mood tracker. And for that, I wanted to use our little alien saucer one. And I know I pulled it out, so just give me a second to find it. So there's 31 days in July. So I'm just going to kind of spread these around a little bit. I don't really want to do it specifically in the pattern. Let me take these bracelets off so they're not like clinking. Okay. I can also kind of just spread them around a little bit more and squeeze a little more in this way as well. Give me a little more room to do fun stuff. Hey everybody, thanks for joining. So this is one of my favorite ways to use a pattern stencil in a different way on something like a mood tracker, where there's these ones that have like a bigger opening. You can just kind of move around and fit in. 13. I try to keep track, but I lose count all the time. 14. So yeah, so just doing 31 on this page. Hey everybody, how you guys doing? I think that's 31, so let me, I feel like I don't want to number them, but I think I'm going to like start here and number backwards. I'm always scared I'm going to miss one of these. 24, 23, 22, 18, 17. really thought I had more than these done. 9, 8, 6, I don't know. 3. Oh, cool. I did good. All right, so then I'm just gonna let her, actually I'm gonna try to kind of keep like the typewriter theme. So I think I'm gonna do like the typewriter font. And just do like the July moods in that. But I think what I'll do is just kind of trace it and not color it in. And then switch back to the uppercase. I'm trying to keep it in line. I'm typically trying to use these dots like on my dot grid to keep it in line. But I'm also kind of, if you weren't here when I first got on, I had my stickers that I'm going to use for this month in like a little pouch, and then they've been kind of just transferring back and forth as I've been gone to planner meets and crafty days and all that kind of stuff. And then I could not find them, and I thought they were in my car, so I ran down to my car with like 5 minutes to 8, and I like freaked out, couldn't find them. It's been a lot, so I feel very flustered. Like when that kind of stuff happens, I just feel like not again. So I usually put like moods, like July moods, but I think since this is not going to fit and I didn't do a very good job spacing, well, I don't think it's necessarily that I didn't do a good job spacing, I think it just doesn't quite fit. What I'll do is I'll write July mood and then I'll put like tracker on the bottom. Just gotta improvise. All right, so there's July moods. And then to go along with that, oh, goodness. What I would do, I don't know, this seems kind of hard to pull off, but like I got the like, I'll go to secret gardens in my mind, in my head. So I thought maybe like do this and then like put this in there instead of the girl. Like I could tape off all the books. So I think I might try to do that because it sounds cool. And this is a great way to have time to do another layout, is to do something dumb like this. So I'm gonna like tape off all the like bookish stuff here. I love the stencil, but I like never use it other than like maybe once a year as a background in my bookworm life planner. But this would be appropriate. So I'm doing this because in one of her songs, there's the lyric, I go to secret gardens in my mind. So I'm thinking that this is obviously going to be like in my mind. And then I'll make like a, I don't know if I'll do gardens or if I'll just do that, like that window insert. I've never done this before, so this is an experiment here. Stick with me. I think it's fun to like experiment with this kind of stuff though. Also, hey, hi everybody. Thanks for joining. See, we've got more people joining now that I'm not being neglectful of tagging people, or tagging everybody at least. All right, so I've got that area taped off where I don't want to have that picture. And this is going to be my like one good line all day, so I don't really want like the entire thing to be taken up. So I'm going to kind of take the back of the hair and like the neck and body off. And just tape this the best I can. Okay, well the next thing is like, what color do I want this? Because I kind of want to like stick in the like TTPD theme of like neutrals, blacky, whitey, maybe like a tattered rose would be kind of pretty, because it's like a color, but it is more in like the neutral family, pinkish neutral. And then if I do like gray and green, okay, I think this is a good color. And then I'm kind of holding this washi tape down so it doesn't, the brush doesn't get under it. So this is another good thing to know, is like, you can always think of different ways to use your stencils. And like you can combine them together and all that kind of stuff too. So it's kind of a fun exercise to think of, you know, a different way that you can use a stencil. And that's one of the things that I like about stenciling, is that it's very easy to kind of extend the usefulness of your stencils. You know, sometimes it's, you know, using them on a similar spread every year, or making cards or something like that, or the background for a scrapbook or whatnot. But it's cool that sometimes you can kind of think of like these ways that are a little bit more unconventional to do that. So let's give this a little lift. Okay, this is perfect, and I really like that color too. So now what I'm going to do is I'm gonna hang on to a lot of this washi, because I think what I'm going to do is try to like make it like this so it's like part of the window, but I don't really want like the pieces that go outside of her head to go, so I'm going to use that as kind of a guide. So I'll just reuse some of this washi tape. So kind of where her hair is, I'll make little don't ink type washi marks. Okay, let me grab a small. I'm going to kind of use more muted tones in here too, so I'm going to do like a light gray. And I'm going to grab, oops, some of my thinner brushes. So for the window, we'll just do this nice light gray. I guess I'd really like to see if it's, I feel like we need a little shade darker. Maybe instead of the gray, we do like a or maybe we do a mix of the lavender. So it's not too bright, but it does pop a little bit more. And if you don't like mixing your colors, you can always do this on like a any kind of non-porous surface, like a plastic baggie or something like that. You can just put like a little bit of each ink on it and use your brush to kind of mix it. I kind of like having some different mixes, but it's probably not the best thing for my inks, but I do it anyway because I'm chaotic. All right, let me pick really light blue to kind of do the windows. And I'm just gonna kind of do like the window pane. And then we're gonna go with the tattered roses that I used in her. We'll do the dried marigold kind of in these flower type areas. Just a little bit of yellow, so it's gonna, ooh, that's very bright. That's not exactly the color I wanted. I feel like that's not even the right color. Oh, it is, okay. I'm just gonna kind of try to be a little less heavy-handed than I was in the top part. Okay. And then lastly, we'll use a green to do some of these like ivy-ish vines. And I think what I'm gonna do to make this, like, give this a little more color is put some pink in here. If I mix in some colors, it'll mute it down a little bit and kind of give me more of the color that I was kind of hoping for here, I think. Or more like the colored vibes, I guess, not necessarily the color. Now, this is one of the reasons it's good to have different size brushes when you're inking. Having that can allow you to change these little details without having to constantly tape off different areas. Obviously I could use a bigger brush for this area where it's all the same color, but if I wanted to like do different colors or varying colors in here, you'd be able to. All right, let me add in a little bit of pink because I feel like this is just not giving the color I really wanted. It was just more than anything going to kind of soften this color a little bit. Even if it's not necessarily pink. It's just not so like bright orange. It's actually more of the color I thought it was going to be originally, so there's that. Also, sorry if I'm like a little low energy today. I've had a long weekend, and not in like the, oh, it was off 3 days, kind of long weekend day. Alright, so there's kind of her secret garden in her mind. I don't hate it, I don't love it, but there's always things we can do. Like, I think maybe kind of like giving her a little cordoned off garden. Maybe some like, try not to go too far in because I'm gonna have to actually like write in here too. Just kind of following some of the lines and like defining some of these lines in here. Cool. Ooh, I wonder if I got like a little. I feel like I got a little splinter. Okay, anyway. Let me give this a little bit of a header. So there is my mood tracker and my, I'm blanking on the name of it. My mood tracker and my one good line a day. Oh no. So next is kind of the fun part mostly. Give me 1 second to look for a couple things that I need. Let's definitely grab this out. Very TTPD type thing. And I was looking through this earlier, and I was looking through this earlier. Ooh, I also have gotten kind of prototypes, but I think I might sell like a very limited amount. Probably post sale just because the discounts won't apply to it anyway. Of some new of these smaller album size albums, and their colors. There's only a few colors though, so they're this type of album, the smaller one with the thing, and then they are, the colors are like a peachy orange, blue, like a pinky purple, a clear, a green, and a yellow, and a black. Did I say black? 4, 5, 6, yeah, there's 8 colors. So there's peachy, blue, purpley, pink, black, yeah, it's definitely purple, clear green, orange, and yellow. So we'll see. My goal is to kind of use those to like theme off things, or like maybe have them set up for like what specifically I want to do. Like, this is my beachy stuff, this is my sporty stuff. Kind of how I have my big albums right now. Okay, so then I also need to grab one more thing I have to grab. I'll find really quick is my, really quick. This is, I really, really, really need to reorganize this. I need like 10 days of free time to do all the things I need to do. Clean my office, and to like do a massive deep clean in my office, and a deep clean in my room, and a reorganization, and organize all my stencils, and do social media, and all that thing. Like, I wish I could just take like a week off of work to just do that, and to like get my stuff straight. Unfortunately, I like traveling too much. So we'll see. Anyway, I'm going to make sure these are right side up, because that's always something I freak out that I'm not going to do right. And then, as with our other months, I'm going to use our Friendship Bracelet Builder, and I'm going to pull out the correct letters. J, U. Oh, they're like jumping out at me today. Okay. And then again, I'm just going to kind of use my dot grid to line it up the best that I can. It's not always perfect. It is what it is. And I'm going to grab my mild liners real quick so I can do, find kind of the neutral ones that I want to use really quick. I definitely like this, light gray, I usually actually use those the letter inserts, but I was just remembering I wanted to use the typewriter because the typewriter was like a big theme of TTPD. So I'm just gonna draw in the circles right now. And I'll draw in the beads, of course. One thing that I really liked this year, is having this like overarching theme where like all the months are this way. It gives it kind of a cool continuity. Ooh. Alright, we'll leave that there for now. Anyway, so I wanted to use the typewriter letters. And just give these a good color in. I like to color it in while it's still on the stencil. It just gives it a little more crisp of a line. And if it's not, you know, like if you don't, like obviously that's not a huge deal, but I just find it's like a different look. I think I'll use uppercase for U and L. It just looks a little more typewriter-y, I think. Like obviously, like that's the other thing is like for all this stuff, like you can take creative license. You can use a different font in the friendship bracelet. You know, I know typically the friendship bracelet fonts are pretty standard, but you know, who knows? It's your journal and you can do what you want, so I like to kind of switch it up every now and then, especially when I have like a specific font that I feel like represents that era. I think it gives it just a little touch of extra fittingness, like I did the rep font or the Old English font for the rep. And like when I do 1989, I'll use that font, and when I do folklore, I'll use that font. Alright, so there's our friendship bracelet, and then I'm gonna kind of color in the best I can. And again, I'm just leaving it on the stencil just to kind of help with like the crispness of the edges. It's a lot harder to color outside the lines when there's a big border there. So there is our friendship bracelet. And then now it's a matter of, oh wait, no, just kidding. One more thing before we do that. Constantly checking to make sure I have these right side up. I think I did it on here one time where it was completely wrong. All right, let's give us a little gray for July. And then we'll do this like brown for the days. And then let's see, the first was a Wednesday, right? Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. It was floppy. Actually, let's do highlighter. Monday, Tuesday, so the 1st, 2nd, 3rd. It's 25, so I'll move it down a little bit more. 26, 27, and 31. Okay, and then I will just date this really quickly. Every time I do one of these months, I'm always panicking, like, July is 31, right? Do months have 31, or is it like 36? It's always so, like, I know these things, I promise. But it's always, like, if you you know when you, like, think too much about something, you're like, this word sounds weird because I've been thinking about it all day. That's how I always get when I get into, like, on these lives, when I'm like, okay, 31, no 30. Don't be a dumbass, it's 30. Like, you know what I mean? Or how do I spell Monday? Or do like the Wednesday. Every time. Because I freak out that I'm going to sound like an idiot. Okay, so before I start doing kind of the fun decorating part, I do want to kind of take a second to, like, see what stickers I have and see how I can kind of incorporate stencils and what stickers I'll do with it. I have some ideas from, like, past my live just shut down my iPad, so give me a second. I'm gonna finish pulling out all my stencils and everything. If I can pull it up. And then I'll show you what I did. Oh my goodness. Okay. So this is what I did when the Torture Poets Department came out. So there's a lot of, like, London and, like, coffee stains. Florida, of course. I loved this look. So we'll probably try to incorporate that too. Of course, this was, like, before everything came out. So, we kind of know a little more. So, okay. Let's just start stenciling, and I'll kind of just keep in mind, like, I've got, you know, the bows, the albatross, the fountain pen, kind of like the scraps of paper. Of course, there's, like, the Travis, and I can do it with Broken Heart. Like, I love you, it's ruining my life. I did, when I went to Italy for the Eras tour, I did, for my friend and I, glasses that had the lights, camera, bitch smile in friendship, in like friendship bracelet beads. That was fun. Of course, Florida. Okay, I think I want to do like, the first thing I want to do though, and I do need to pull out a couple more stencils for this, because I was like, what do I need? I'm not going to need fireworks, but I want to do like So Long London, and do kind of like a firework, a little thing over it. Whew, I'm really tired today. Sorry about that. And I think that's gonna be like the only color on this page is like a little red and white and little red and blue for like So Long London. And the rest will be the like sepia, black, white, gray kind of thing. So let's put the London. I think I'm gonna do this first in like that brownish color. Some kind of brown. This is the part of stenciling I really like, is finding some fun like layers. And I do want to have some room for fireworks. I think I'll actually start this at the bottom, which is not what I was planning on doing. We can change it up. This Big Ben stencil, for whatever reason, like this specific part of the stencil has been one of my favorites since I made it. I don't really know why. I just really, like, it scratches this, and it just scratches a part of my brain just perfectly. So I definitely wanted to include that for sure. And then I'm thinking about putting maybe like Tower Bridge here, but in like black or a dark, whatever, dark gray maybe. We'll do black. We'll give it atmosphere. Kind of like at an angle. So yeah, so I'm just trying to get this black to a good consistency. It doesn't have to be like black black, it just has to be not splotchy. Alright. And then I'm gonna keep these close because I still might use these again. I want to, just to kind of contrast it and give it like that, like, So Long London. And tie in 4th of July, because like that's kind of the reason I do. Like I said, this is going to be the only color, but I'm not going to make it like too saturated. So I'm just going to use the existing ink that's on my brush and on these stencils. think this is just like the perfect little nod to 4th of July. And if there's not a So Long London sticker, which I'm sure there is, but in fact, let me look through it. If there's not, I'll just kind of like write it in. From London Boy to So Long London. That might be my favorite lyric. I can't believe there's not like, it just says So Long London. I hope there is. My boyfriend's sister-in-law, her and her husband went to, oh perfect, So Long London. We'll stick that like right there or right here or something. We'll figure it out. But that's perfect because that's exactly what I wanted. Okay. Anyway, so my boyfriend's, I'm gonna do a couple singles up here for like the albatross. They went to London last fall. Or they were going to Germany and kind of like added a stop into London on the way. And they went to, she's a Swiftie too. So she went to the Black Dog Cafe specifically to get me a hat. So I have this black dog hat that I wear all the time. And I'm obsessed with it. And it's like that perfect, like, soft hat. I love it. Like a baseball hat. So like there's the albatross. Alright. And while we're sticking it, let's do like a Florida on this side too. But first let's do some of this. A little bit of that. That's just a good, like, general background. And then let's do a nice little coffee stain here. I think we're gonna do this one. And let's do this one right here. Yeah, I think this is one of my favorite ways to use stencils is in this thing where you have like a lot of themes and you can kind of smush them together. I've really enjoyed this practice this year of like bringing together a lot of different stencils that, you know, aren't necessarily like made to go together. It's been kind of a fun challenge to kind of encapsulate each album by, you know, not every album has stencils that I designed to go with it, so it's kind of cool to like try to use these things that are so disparate to go together. So then let's also take this page, and I think just to kind of give it some continuity, I'm going to give this page some of this inking too and kind of like fade it off in like a slope. A slope. That was weird. Alright. Okay, good. So that kind of looks like that kind of ties in together. Let's see what else we should do. I do have this like nice little skull here from one of the old Harry Potter ones. I think I'm just gonna put that in here. And then what else do we have? I just want to make sure there's nothing that I like really wanted to include that I haven't yet. We'll do a little alien. Gotta have that down bad rep. Okay, what else do we have here? I'm gonna do like maybe a cute little bow for Clara bow. Maybe we'll add one here too. And then what else do we want to do? Of course, Florida. I can't forget that. I keep forgetting. Not forgetting, but I thought like these could be like the manuscript. Which has a special place in my heart because it was one of my Eras to her surprise. It was one of the last ones we got. She mixed Long Live with New Year's Day with the manuscript. So I definitely have to put that on here. Or at least give it some representation. Okay. And then I think last as far as stenciling, let's do Florida. Florida. And we'll add a couple more seagulls down here. Or albatrosses, I should say. And of course, like a lot of this is going to get covered with stickers, so I do want to take this really quick though. Give it a quick border. I'm going to do that kind of like offset one. Okay, and now again for the stickers, which happens to be probably my favorite part. Okay, I'm thinking of cutting this sticker, the LOML one, to kind of fit into that scroll. This is another thing I like doing, is making my stickers work for me. You know, I think so many times we get in our heads, especially in the planner world, of having a sticker that fits the right size. Well, sometimes we can fit it ourselves. Like, I'm trying very hard this year to like let go of perfectionism, and this is one of the things, like, that sticker doesn't fit, well now it does. Make things work for you. Okay, so what else do we want to do? I do love the bolter. Also in Love and Poetry. Oh, I did want to do the So Long London one, so let me grab that one while I'm here. do love the like TTPD. Oh, I love the little black dog has to go on here, 100%. So cute. We definitely have to add a typewriter in here. I remember there's like a ton of stuff. I can still put stuff on the inside, you know what I mean? Okay, let's do this one here just to kind of get the name somewhere. And I love these like handwritten. Let's do this with some of the albatrosses and add like a sticker form. Okay, let's do some of these ones. And I think this, like, both of these are such like iconic moments on the Eras tour. We've gotta put that in there. And then I think we'll use a lot of the other stuff inside. But let's... I think this one we're gonna trim up just a tad. Let's see. I feel like I should put this like I feel so high school part. Or the lights, camera, bitch, smile. I love that part too. So many good parts. Let's see if she's got a smaller. Let's see. I just really love all of this. There's so many good pieces. Ah, I ripped it. Shoot. Well, that's an easy fix. So many good things. My goodness. Oh, I did want to do this on here, didn't I? Excuse me. Whew. All right. I feel like one thing needs to go right there. Let me find something that's like the right size. this and then do, let's see, the bolter torch. Yeah, I could do that. Or I could do the, I don't think there's room for Bit Daddy. I love him. This, if I cut, I think there's room for. All right. So there is, I still feel like I'm missing something. Maybe we'll do, that's kind of a cute juxtaposition. And then the TS, I feel like came out a lot in this. And did I do soy leaf in the gallows anywhere? Let's put that here. Okay, I think that's good. Because I can remember we still have the inside too, so there is that. And those pages will open up here to my mood tracker and my one good thing a day. So let's put that aside for a minute and get out my monthly. The actual monthly calendar. That's, you know, a little bit important. Okay, so let me pull out the one good thing about this is I can like look at this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's when it gets a little complicated. So 4 on one side. Just like to kind of wipe this off. Did I use silver? Okay, I did. I was like, I don't remember. This has my debut colors on it, and I was like, that was Mag. Didn't I use this for June? And then I forgot we had lovers, so we used the hearts. Okay, so because of the way this month is set up, this is how I use these. So there's 4 because like that's spacing wise, a 4 and a 3 obviously work. So what I usually do is I look on the month and I see where the month splits. Like if it's easy like this, where it's 4 and 3, the side that has 3, I'll do as 3, and the side that has 4, I'll do 4. Obviously it's gonna change if you start Monday, then it's gonna be 2 and 5, and it's just kind of a preference thing. But since this month is evenly split, or nicely split, I should say, and then so on the 3 side we do 4, but we're going to do the bottom 4 and leave that 5th row open, so you know there's 6 here. I can kind of adjust this a little bit to give us a little bit of room. Like this is going to be the space of my entire calendar, but these are going to be the ones that I stencil on this side. So I want to still give myself enough space up top on both sides. So I'm going to kind of and then I'll look at the bottom, and on this one, all 3 of these have all 4 weeks. So obviously this one's going to go here. So I can have 1, 2, 3, 4. So this will be 5, 6, 7, 12, 13, 14, 19, 20, 21, etc. And then kind of the hardest part is making sure this side stays down. Okay, so then the next thing I'm gonna do, and this is a little harder because I'm using very neutral tones, and so for that matter, I'm not gonna use as much, like, I'm not gonna go back and constantly re-ink as much as I would if it was a different color. But I'm gonna use a lot of that like tea dye. I think the tea dye will give it a good color. That's gonna be kind of like our main. I think it's been a minute since I've used tea dye. There's like very specific things I use it for. And the black and the gray I'm not going to re-ink unless I feel like I need it, just because like I don't want to do too much of that. The one that I want to like heavy lift with, and so you're going to see I do a lot of the, because the tea dye is what I'm going to kind of want as my main color. I'm just going to use the others as like accent and then very light. So unlike most months where I try to like really swirl this around and get a lot of color on different areas of the boxes, this one I'm going to kind of largely get as much of this as I can on every box, because this is the color that I kind of want as my base, because it's a little harder to write on like black. So I'm just going to kind of very lightly use the black, kind of more defined edges, and use it more like as a streak through here. I do feel like I need a little bit more black. And I'm just pressing very lightly on that because I don't want it to be too dark. I will kind of use my brown to give it that secondary color that it really needs though. And then my gray is just going to kind of fill and blend everything to make it look like less like a bunch of just random lines. And then definitely make sure that anywhere around the edges that hasn't been colored gets a little bit of that. Okay. So there is my first 3 weeks, or the first 3 days of the week. And then on this side, since it's 4 days, I'll just move this over. And I'm going to take this one off. And I'm going to do my best to kind of line this up as best I can. And then this is going to be all 4 days. So I'm going to try to start this a little closer to give myself just a little bit over on the edge there. And I will kind of get the edges here. And then I do want to make sure that I note that this last day right here does not need inked, because that's August. So I'll give that a good little piece over, and then I will put washi down the side here, obviously to hold it down and to prevent any like over inking. I love when I get towards the end of a washi roll. Except this has been like the perfect washi because it's mostly sticky enough, but it's like not too sticky where I feel like I'm gonna rip my paper. Okay. So again, I'm gonna kind of do all the heavy lifting with my tea dye, but I'm gonna try to vary it a little bit more this time because I feel like I didn't vary it a ton on the other one. So a lot of tea dye. Now let's do some black. Oh gosh, it looks like a bad haircut. Let me pull out my gray so I can give this a little bit of a gray. I feel like it needs a little more gray. I'm gonna use my gray just to kind of soften up the edges of the black, I think. Especially here where, I don't know what I did. Looked like I gave like a little haircut, like a really bad emo haircut to the box. I think I'm gonna go back with the brown to give it a little more color, even though that color is brown. And definitely kind of catching any white borders here, white areas. Okay, let's put that off. Not my favorite blended color. I think this is definitely a month that, like, if you didn't want to do this, it would look perfectly fine just doing like regular boxes. And I probably should have just for variety, but to be honest, I just thought of that. Okay, so the next thing I'll do is I will get like month and all that in here. Let me pull over my typewriter font. I think we'll change it up and do all lowercase this time. Doing this a little lower to give myself a little more room to do some fun stickers and stuff around the edges. And again, like, you don't have to leave this on while you kind of like color it all in. I just find it gives it a little more crisp of an edge. And for like the typewriter look, I kind of wanted that. I love a good short month name. July, May, March, April. Enjoy it while it lasts, I guess. Hey Cynthia, it's nice to see you. I am not really finishing up, I still have a little bit to go on this, but I'm just doing my July monthly since I'm a little behind. My live schedule got a little off track in June, so I'm behind. Alright, let me just label days. And then, of course, dates. 31. Okay. So there is the dates. And then, again, now it's just kind of having fun and putting some fun things down. So, I think right here, I'm going to kind of sneak in a Florida. Because, like, that's the perfect shape on this page to do it. I am going to trace this one. We'll add in a couple of the albatrosses. Okay, and then we definitely want to do like really like this for the manuscript. So maybe like a moment for that. Definitely some ink splatters. Definitely that. And then I think also some London, but I don't know where I put that. Oh, up here. I'm thinking like maybe here. And then maybe just like a moment for this here. Let's do our spaceship. And then just like a touch for the manuscript. Okay, and then the last thing we'll do is a little bit of ink stains and all of that. And then we'll use stickers to round out the rest. Okay, just a couple little things here, and we'll add some stickers and attach this. And maybe if I can think of something really quickly to do for my weekly, we'll do that really quickly. But at the moment, I'm drawing a blank, so maybe we won't. But I really need to have my weekly done, so we'll figure something out really quickly. Okay. Now, sticker-wise, I definitely want to I love this Fresh Aqua Slammer. Maybe like right there. Lost My Life could kind of Squeeze in right there. Definitely adding some bows in here. I'm gonna put a TS by the 3rd. Cause, aw, she got married. That's so fun. I'm so happy for them. TTPD. Oh, what if I put a little ring over there too? Actually, you know what? We're gonna put the TS in the ring. Because you know what? I didn't do anything else that day. It's gonna be their wedding. Let's see, what else do we got? Actually, we're gonna add not lost my life, but love of my life. How about, are you gonna marry, kiss, or kill me here? And we'll add. Oh, I just ripped him. Well, poor little bolter. Let's see what else. Did add bows. I'm trying to think if there's like one of these that I want to add in here. Maybe just the tortured, and also in Love and Poetry, sincerely, that's the one we want to do. It's like just too big. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna kind of carve this out. So that I can kind of sit here. And then if I do this, ha, perfect. I'm trying to think like what I want to, if I want to add like a little bit of this. A little record player somewhere. Maybe the little London, if I can find a place to put it. Oh, right there. And now the last thing, if I add this here, all right, I think that's enough. Maybe I'll add one more little albatross. I love this. I really love this. This came together so nicely. I didn't think it was gonna be this cute. Okay. So let me grab my tip and tape and we'll tape this all together. And oh my gosh, I love this. I was dreading this one earlier. Also, I think because I had put it off for 2 weeks because just life lifed. I had some things going on and I kept meaning to go live, but then like Friday was a lot. I didn't realize last Wednesday when I wanted to go live because I wasn't feeling good Tuesday. Then I realized that was soccer game. And then Thursday I had something, I think. I can't remember what I had Thursday. Or I was gonna do something and then I ended up not. Anyway, whatever. Okay, this is the thing that can sometimes get tricky. Just doing my best to keep this as on the line as possible. Got that. And then you theoretically fold it. Still not the best at doing this. There's got to be some kind of trick. I really need to like get a hold of Lauren and be like, please just show me the magic of your ways. All right, let's try this again. Do my best to do it as close to the line as possible. But then like, if I get it wrong, if I've already pushed it down, I don't want it to take the color off. You know what I mean? When I kind of lined up the pages, this one I think I'm gonna do it this way and fold and see if that makes it better. I feel like I need like 5 hands for this. It seemed a little easier, but also didn't, if that makes sense. Corners a little snip. Okay, so there is July. I'm obsessed with this right now. I have stickers from Sugar Pop Fizz, Caffeine Queens, and Adorably Amy Designs on here. They're all like Torture Poet themes. Stencils wise, there's fireworks, there's coffee stains, coffee rings, seagulls, London, another London, script pattern, bows, reading pattern, UFOs, Florida. And then on the inside here, for this one, I use the Books on the Brain one, taped off the books part, and then use our garden window, I think it's called. I can't remember what it's called. And then this will be, oh, I never even, one more thing I gotta do. I gotta put the numbers here. That was dumb. So yeah, so this is my one good line a day where I write like one thing a day that I liked or made me happy. So I use 2 different stencils here to do. This is like secret. I go to secret gardens in my mind. Actually, I think I want to write that down here. And then on this page, this is my mood tracker. I use our UFO one and the type font stencil. And I just moved it all around and put 31 there. And then of course I use our brush boxes calendar builder, another London, script, coffee stains, coffee rings, script, Florida, reading pattern, UFO. And then again, stickers from Adorably Amy Designs, Caffeine Queens, and Sugar Pop Fizz, and the type stencil to do this. I love how that turned out. I really love how that turned out. Okay, really quickly, because I really need something for this week. I need to find a stencil that I can do quickly, but that's cute-ish. do this one with like some bright, sunny, fun colors. Okay, let me grab my, I think I have them here. My, I'm drawing a blank on the name. My anti-stencils. So, I'm just gonna hopefully pull this apart. Okay. I'm just gonna do some fun colors. So let's do like definitely bright pink. And maybe teal. And maybe like that. That's like random, but let's do it. I feel like I haven't used this stencil in a long time. It's like a different, something different's good. Eek. So let's grab the brush colors I'm going to use. Eek. This does not want to stay down. Okay. And then let's do this one. I didn't wash this down very well, so I have to kind of like adjust it as I'm going and just hold it, but we'll do the best we can. Oh, cute. Okay, this is turning out cute. really does not want to hold. This is definitely a case of more washi is better. I'm just doing my best to kind of hold it down as I stencil, but definitely the better idea is to get this washi down better. I'm in a little bit of a rush, so I feel like I'm like, oh, it's no big deal. I'm gonna be really mad at myself when it's done. You can tell that there's like lines that have overlapped. All right, doesn't look too bad. I am gonna kind of, oh, that's not the right one. That's the right one. No, it's not. Okay, now one more line this one up. Alright. And then okay, hopefully this lines up decently, at least. And it doesn't, so we'll figure it out. Alright, that was quick enough. We'll just divide it and label it and we'll be good. Just put away really quickly. And then the last thing I'll do is I will trace around this. The black will really give it a good pop here. Uh-oh, I totally missed the full top one. Okay. And then 14 up. Okay, so July 6th through the 12th. Okay, so really quick and simple. needed something fast, so I'm glad that didn't take too much time. But there's a quick thing for this week, and then the other thing we did tonight was our whole July layout, and I'm loving this. So I will try to be live next Tuesday. I have it in my head, maybe I'll go live this weekend if I get some of the stuff ready to release, but definitely not a promise. Other than that, I will try my very best to be live next Tuesday. I've got a lot of new stuff coming up. I will hopefully have the release ready for that day. Yeah, anyway, everybody, I hope you have a great night. If you're watching this on replay, please let me know, and let me know if you have any questions. But I hope you guys have a great night, and I will see you next Tuesday.